So this is an update of Ahmaud Arbery's death. I know by now most people have saw the video. It's raised a lot of controversy, a lot of anger on social media and all over. So it was really disturbing. I wanted to say that I'm not surprised because with this death, it reminds me of all the other incidences that have happened. Trayvon Martin, all of the other men and people of color, black people that have been killed, and somehow their murderers are able to walk free, or they're exonerated, or they are never held accountable for their actions. And somehow they're able to go through a court proceeding and not be convicted of the crimes that they commit. So going forward with this article, the man who actually recorded the video of Ahmaud Arbery's death has received threats. After police said that they were investigating him, his lawyer has said. So this is out of Insider at insider.com, Connor Perrett. And so I just wanted to say that looking at the video was extremely disturbing, and the first things that popped into my mind is brother, cousin, uncle, father, friend, loved one, somebody that you might be close to, and watching them suffer like this at the hands of people who are not being held accountable for committing murder in cold blood. So going forward with this is the jogger that was shot and murdered in Georgia of Brunswick. So this is Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed February 23rd in Brunswick, Georgia. Correct me if I'm wrong about pronunciation of names and what have you. I always say that sometimes in the beginning because I may not be saying the name the way some people say it. So the man who had filmed this video, February the 23rd, of the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery, has received threats since police announced that they were investigating his involvement, his lawyer has said this past Saturday. So an attorney for William Roddy Bryan, who reported the 25-year-old's death, said that Bryan has cooperated with authorities in their investigation, as authorities say that they're looking into everybody that is involved in this incident. So Bryan shared the video with authorities immediately after the shooting, and Bryan's lawyer said, adding that he had no connection to the suspects arrested in Arbery's death other than being their neighbor. So William Roddy Bryan, the man who recorded the video of 36 seconds video that captured the shooting death of an unarmed black male, 25 years of age, by the name of Ahmaud Arbery, has received threats after police said they were investigating his involvement in Arbery's death, his lawyer told CNN. We investigate everybody involved in the case, including the individual who shot the video, Vic Reynolds, the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, director told reporters Friday, according to CNN. So Bryan's attorney said the investigators' comments about him have endangered the lives of Bryan, his family, his friends, and his neighbors, and Bryan has lost his job, his lawyer added. It was Mr. Bryan who videotaped the incident in question, disclosed the existence of the videotape. Trying to get the words out. Sorry, excuse me. It's very difficult. And inviting a responding Glenn County police officer to sit with him in his truck where they watched the video together. Bryan's lawyer, Kevin Go, said. So Go said that his client had cooperated with investigations beginning when he showed officers the footage of this video. And when He later went to the police station so officers could download the video from the cell phone. CNN reported this. So the video recorded February the 23rd in Brunswick, Georgia, shows two men approach Abery from their pickup truck while he was jogging before the altercation ends in the shooting death of Abery. Gregory McMichael, who is 64, and Travis McMichael, who's 34, who are white, were arrested Thursday and face charges of murder and aggravated assault in Arbery's death. The men cannot be charged with committing a hate crime because in Georgia, a hate crime law does not exist in the state of Georgia, of course. So Go said that his client is not connected to either of the McMichaels other than being members of the same community. So Brian was doing yard work when he noticed an unfamiliar man being chased by a car that he recognized, his lawyer said, according to CNN. So the suspects have said that they confronted Abery because he resembled a suspect in recent burglaries, though there was just one reported burglary in the area the start of 2020 until the day Abery had died, according to the Brunswick News. So, as Insider previously noted, the video of the shooting was leaked months after it was filmed by a defense attorney who had consulted with the suspects who were arrested on Thursday. The lawyer who is representing the suspects said he did not believe the video would either exonerate them or convict the men, the New York Times reported. So the investigation into Abery's death is an ongoing investigation. I'm adding that in. It's ongoing. Police told reporters, according to CNN. So Mr. Bryan videotaped what was going on, and because he did that, there is a prosecution, Go said. So if he had not videotaped that incident, the only person who really could speak to what had happened that day is now dead and will never have that opportunity. So the video is the prosecution. And so I'm adding this, and this is my opinion. If that video was shot in February and we're just now seeing it, the person that was with the video and that released the video and the person that was holding the video was holding the video for a whole 2 months. I want to say that. And I believe it was a prosecutor or a lawyer that was holding this video for a whole 2 months, and they had the authority to try to step in and do something about this as soon as they seen it. Now, from what I was looking at in the video, and I don't know if anyone else, if you understand where I'm coming from, but it looks all too familiar. It sounds all too familiar. And as the saying goes, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is a duck. So I'm just saying that I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by any of this. What's disturbing is that those two men were not arrested immediately, and they were out and they could have killed other black people just the same. He was reaching for something. How many times have we heard that? It looked like he was the suspect or she was the suspect. And so with that being said, there's been many series of incidences of shootings such as this. And so I think it should have been swift justice as soon as that video was shown to somebody in authority, but it wasn't. And so that was failed right there in the beginning. From what I have read, what I've researched, what I've known in the past, even coming from a family that has had a history of living in the South, this to me, and I'm going to say this, is a modern day lynching. And many of the other shootings and the deaths of black people have been modern day lynchings. It's old racism in our time, and it's new people doing it. And I'm saying this. And I don't see anything more different than what happened when my mom was living in the Deep South during Jim Crow era, when there were public lynchings and there were invites for people to come to the public lynchings and watch black men and women and even children being hung by trees and watching them swing, watching their necks snap. So this right here, what we're seeing, is nothing more than modern day, in our time, lynchings, but it's done quicker, where it's done through gunfire. And so from what I've seen, that a lot of this is orchestrated through the guise of hate groups, through a lot of people having connections in law enforcement that are a part of the hate groups. It, however, I have to add, it isn't everyone, but there is certain people or individuals that are a part of this or in agreement with it, or they cooperate with it some kind of way. And so this makes it all too disturbing, and it makes the community feel as though they don't have any trust in their system, in which is supposed to protect them. And so if you go to your judge, or if you go to a lawyer and you're hoping that you're going to get justice, you already feel defeated because of the race-based situation of hate. That's what it all boils down to. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. But this is an ongoing investigation. From what I've seen in the past and from what I've seen up to now, I feel like that it's the same old racism and hate and evil and hatred that has persisted and has been very prevalent. And it's not just in the South, it's everywhere on some level. And there are groups that are very active in this. Even on social media, there are groups that form hate groups where they target individuals because of their color or for whatever the reasons. So this is just really new people that are doing the same old race hatred and prejudice and discrimination and killings, all for the sake of white supremacy or whatever their groups they're a part of. And so I don't see anything new about this, except that you have maybe new individuals that are promoting it, and you have now where they know how to dress things up, they know how to word things, they know how to say things and clean it up so that it doesn't sound like it is a racial incident. They know how to hide and cover up things until somebody leaks it or it slips out. I've even seen where they've got people who will try to threaten you if you have a video and you take a video of an incident like this. They're trying to threaten people. It's your property, your phone. Why should you be threatened because you see something that is wrong? So the thing is with this videotape, and the person that took the videotape, I don't know what all his intent was. He says he's just the neighbor. So maybe that's why he might be getting these crazy threats, because they're wondering what his involvement was in it. But we only can wonder. We don't know all of everything. But from what I've seen and what I've seen from the video, that's the conclusion that I'm coming to. Personally, that's my opinion, which I'm entitled to, and I know other people have different opinions on this issue. But being it so that I've heard other stories, and I know people who have lived in the Jim Crow South, and This is nothing more than just a modern day lynching, if you ask me. So I'm going to let this video go. Like, comment, subscribe. Antoinette 70. Thanks for listening.